Hello and welcome to this episode on Manavotsav. And today we have got very special guest actually. So she has been doing work with us for the last 4 years, ever since we started this Manavotsav. But of course, through Manavotsav, what we try to do is to investigate a little bit around the hidden cultural, artistic pathways through which communities build resilience. So today we have got this session on managing anger through art, which can be a creative and therapeutic way to channel and express our emotions constructively. So we will go through with Blue Palette to look into the ways that we can actually use artistic activities to control and manage our anger. But of course, art allows us to explore our feelings as well and gain insights into the root causes of our anger. And possibly we'll find a little bit more around that today from Soma Mitra, who is the founder of Blue Palette, joining us today from the studio. Hello and welcome. How are you?
Hi, Danny. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's been so that time of the year. So of course, I mean this year we have to have a delayed one of Manavotsav. Of course, we didn't manage much to do in the August, but we thought we will do as a in between the South Asian Heritage Month and the Black History Month. So it kind of falls in really well in September. But thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fourth year that we are working with you. And of course, you have been doing multiple sessions for our children as well on another project. So thank you very much for your continued support. And
Yeah.
just to start with, would you like to? I mean, it's going to be an interesting session, of course, and people can join in and actually try it out with you. But would you like to give us a little bit of background into, because I know that you have been doing art therapy and you do offer courses. So if you can let us know a little bit around that.
Hi, Indrani. Yes, even I wait for this time of the year to see, different interesting ways to help the community, the people, through different forms of art and other activities. So Manavutsav is very close to my heart as well. So thank you for inviting me once again this year. I'll tell a little bit about me. So I have been an art teacher and an artist. I'd say an art enthusiast for last 15 years. Ever since I got married, I gave up my job. I was working in the finance sector, and then I stopped. Uh, no, I thought, yeah, I'll just take a chance, and then I started working as an artist. So I'm a full-time artist now, and over the time when I was working with children, I was taking my art sessions. So I have found a lot of changes. First of all, I saw it in myself, like a lot of stress. Initially, I was going through due to some reasons, and then I found out that art helped me come out of the stress. Maybe I could not realize it at that time, but when I go back and look into those years, yes, art helped me a lot. And I then started when I was working with the children. I children and my art students, like maybe of different age group I work with. I found people are getting benefited through art. So maybe when someone is not performing well in studies, so not able to focus, and he just came just initially came for a regular art class, and after a certain period of time, a change in his concentration, his focus could be noticed. So similarly, other incidents started happening, and then I thought, yes, if I am doing this art as a therapy, as a healing agent, so I need to explore it more. So that's where it began, and then I did a course from Asha Daho. It was an online session during 2020. I did my art therapy PG diploma. Then I realized ki I need to explore more, and then I did some other courses like mandala therapy, dream analysis therapy, and graphology, because all these are very much related. Like whenever you are uh, exploring, you start your horizon expand. So that's how things came up. I started my course. I'm doing my master's in psychology. I thought, okay, I'll explore the psychology front as well if I'm trying to be a therapist. So that's how things started. And now I do small workshops, and I work with individuals on different aspects. Like today we are doing how we can use art as an anger management technique. So, so this is basically a short background of myself and how what I work for and what are the works I am doing. So yeah, Indrani. We can't hear you, Indrani. You're on mute mostly.
Sorry, yes, yeah, I was muted. So, I mean, if you look into the work that you have done previously, with Manavutsa, of course, we've seen that people have found it really interesting, and people have revisited it many times. So you can see that people have been asking questions, or they have been actually practicing it as well. So thank you very much, really, for sharing the background, and also I think that you have done different times you've done different kinds of sessions, and we have not never actually done anger management before, but we have thought about like taking different therapeutic approaches in other workshops that we have done previously. So let's get started then, with the workshop, if you want to.
Yeah. So a few questions. Since we cannot have the audience question right now over here. So what do you think about anger? Should we manage it? Is it a manageable emotion, or what do you feel?
Well, anger, if I go back to my childhood days, my grandma used to say, when I used to get very angry at something, she used to say, count 1 to 10. And if still
Absolutely.
it doesn't settle, go backwards 10 to 1. And it was like, I mean, anger management comes from that kind of teaching to me. So if and I used to do that, whether that be whether playing in a playing circumstance when I'm kind of angry, or coming back from school I'm angry, or something is happening, and then that's the management. So it I think I did manage to control that way. So I think that anger is an emotion that can be controlled, but only if I understand that I'm getting angry, and that's it's not very good to get angry. So I think that that's a conversation sometimes we lose. Like for me, it always happens like that. So um, yeah. So the point that you get angry, you need to dissociate yourself from that anger perspective, which is sometimes difficult, but definitely we can manage it, I think.
So no, my question was like, do we think ki anger is a positive or a negative emotion? How we see anger?
See it as a negative emotion.
Okay, but don't you think ki like anger is sometimes required to be a push to bring on change?
That's true. Yes, anger sometimes
Can
provides
be
motivation
constructive.
as well. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, what why I am calling it an anger management and why not anger avoidance? So
Mm.
see, anger is an emotion which I feel it is neither negative nor positive, but it is kind of a discomfort in us, and we think like I am angry, but it's not like we are angry. We are feeling the emotion of anger. So we need to dissociate ourselves from anger. Number one. Number two, like I said, to bring on change. Like suppose uh, people are teasing me for being a fatso. I get angry. I started to being working hard for being fit. So that is actually helping me, isn't it? So anger is sometimes required, and if it can be managed properly, it can be constructive. Okay,
Mm.
so that's what I feel. Now the destructive anger, which comes out like uncontrollably, which comes out, so we need to manage that, we need to be able to cope up with that. So there are some activities which I have planned, and let us see which are those. So Indrani, I'll switch on the other camera
Yeah.
and let me know if you can see the book. No, you can't. So I need to reverse the camera, and I don't know why, how. Um,
So maybe just go into the landscape mode, just turn the camera.
okay. I don't know.
So just for the audience, whoever is watching, if you've got any questions or something that you want to actually ask Shroma about anger management or anger therapy, not anger therapy, but actually managing your anger through art therapy. If you have got any questions, please do ask in the comments. You can write it and we can get that in the studio. And also, if you are going to participate in the workshop today, and you are actually working on it, please do share that with us as well.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I have to, turn it upside down. Anyways, so this is called the anger volcano. So why I call it anger volcano? I'll show you. So see, anger is the outburst. Is a secondary emotion. When it comes out, we see it as a secondary emotion. Indrani, I will stop my camera. It's a little disturbing, so that we
Oh,
can focus on
wait a
the book.
minute.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So yeah, see, when you see a volcano, whatever the outburst, the lava and whatever is erupting from the volcano, this thing can be called the anger. This is the outburst of anger. This is the outward manifestation of anger. So this is actually the anger part. Okay, but what happens in a volcano is, like, see, there are this eruption doesn't happen from outside. This is what is going on inside the earth, right? So this is the earth. This is our volcano, the mountain, which has the crater, and where the anger is coming out. Now there are a lot more things happening below, right? So we need to identify what are the things which are happening below. What are the things? So it can be shame, it can be frustration, it can be fear, it can be envy. What else? Indran, if you want to cook in something, it can be so there are lot many things. Anxiety, there can
Worry.
be anxiety. Sorry.
Worry.
Yes, of course, worry. So see, these are the primary and the basic emotions. Injustice. Okay, so see, these are, like, if you try to figure out which is the last time you got angry, and if you just try to figure out what was the reason behind it, you will see anger was not exactly the reason. The reasons were these emotions: guilt, pain. So we need to first of all figure out and know that anger is a secondary emotion. It is number two. And in number one, we have all these things. Okay, so this is one of the first activity which I want our viewers to do, is the anger volcano activity. find out and recognize all the emotions which are happening inside you, for which you are getting angry and the anger is coming out. Now, if we do not take care of these emotions over here, then these are going to erupt and this will be a destructive anger. So first of all, it is important to identify what is actually the reason for which I am getting angry. Okay, so you can use any pen and you can use, you see, this is not a very creative art. Anyone can make it. Absolutely. Thanks, Tejasvi. Inferiority complex. See, all these things. See, if we can take each of the time whenever we got angry, and we can actually go through it and recognize which are the reasons we got angry. So who all are watching this can send your inputs as a form of messages. What was the reason you got angry? The last time you got angry. Maybe it can be in the morning, it can be yesterday or last week. Whenever you got angry, so you can draw this volcano, you can write anger over here, and below the earth, you can actually write down, and you don't need to show us. You can just write down which are the emotions you felt at that time for which you got anger. So now, once we know this, or shall we give them a little time who all are watching? If you want to send your input, expectations from other. Yes, okay, good. Thank you. Anyone else wants to send your input? Now, I want you, every one of you, to do this often, like, once in a while, so that you know what is the reason you are getting angry. Maybe whenever you are getting angry, after your anger comes down, definitely we cannot do anything during the time when we are actually angry. So when the anger comes down, when you calm down, after that you can do this exercise to figure out why I got angry. This will really, really help you to know yourself better, because you can figure out what are the reasons which are over and over responsible for making you angry. So this was our first activity, which is called the anger volcano. Any questions regarding this?
Not yet, but I'll forward you once we have
Okay.
some. So for
So,
audience, like if you've got any questions, you can post it in the comments and we can see it. Thank you.
okay. Now the second activity, which I want all of us to do along with me, is I will make two figures and very simple ones. So a head, the neck, shoulders, hands, very simple figure, legs, feet. Another similar figure over here. It can be similar, huh? So just consider it similar. Why I am drawing like this? Because I don't want the figure to be very perfect. If you want, you can make it very beautiful, perfect. Like the boys can make a boy, girls can make girls figure. So that way you can make it. Now this is number one. This is number two. Now I want you to, with me, do a body scanning. Starting from our feet, try to feel these few emotions. Okay. So I'll write it down. These few emotions you will try to feel, and which part of the body you are feeling it. So number one, sadness. Number 2, worry. Number 3, pain. Number 4, stress. Number 5, fear. Number 6, tiredness. And number 7, helplessness. Now we should know that all this, we think the emotions are in our heart or in our mind, but let us do a body scanning and we will find these emotions are in the different parts of our body. Like pain, so we can think. Now we will do one more thing. We will take the 7 rainbow colors like red, yellow, green, orange, uh, blue, indigo, and violet. So the rainbow colors. Now each of these emotions can have each color. I can have different, you can have different. So for me, stress is this. Very randomly I am choosing. Worry is this. Oh, achha, sadness is this one. Stress is this one. Then pain I will do red. Fear I will do green. Tiredness I do orange. Doesn't look like orange, but you can just consider it orange. And this is yellow. Just consider it like this. Now what I want you to do is while you are doing the body scanning, suppose you are feeling a little bit of tiredness, like I'm feeling it right now in my calf muscles. I am having fear in the back of my neck. So you can color whichever emotion you are feeling in whichever part of your body. Pain I am having maybe in my shoulders a little bit, in my knees a little bit. Now, do you see ki all these are the primary emotions which we can have or which can be the reasons of our secondary emotion, which is anger. So we are trying to figure out which part of our body is having what. Sadness may be near my throat a little bit. Worry, yes, worry is over here. It can be in multiple places, huh? Worry can be over here as well. I'm feeling a little worried over here. Maybe I am feeling worry over here. And like this. So you can figure out and color the places, whichever emotion you are feeling in whichever place. So maybe stress I am feeling in the sides of my abdomen. So like this, try to do a body scanning. So for this reason, you need to sit at least for 2 minutes, calm your mind, be aware of your body, and then try to figure out these 7 emotions in your body. Right? Now, why we are trying to figure it out? Because from here we will change, we will redraw ourselves. So, what is that redrawing ourselves? See, there are 7 emotions. Now, we will have 7 more positive emotions. Okay. So, maybe let us start with number 1, faith. Number 2, love. Number 3, joy. Number 4, contentment. Content. Number 5 can be kindness. Number 6 can be gratitude. And number 7 can be, which color did I miss? I guess I have done all the colors. Blue? Yeah, blue. Confidence. It can be any other 7. It can be any other 7 positive emotions. Now, what we are going to do is, see, we figured out ourselves to be with all the negative emotions, right? Now, we are going to fill ourselves with positive emotions and completely. So, for this exercise, you can first, just make some lines in the figure, break it down into small, small areas, and then fill up with these colors. So, suppose my confidence is over here, over here. It can be any other emotion, like whichever, whatever, like it can be strength, it can be power, anything. And you can make it as beautiful as you want. I'm just showing you the basic figure because I want everyone to be able to do it. But those who are able to draw, they can make it as beautiful as they want. So this is contentment. I'm so happy and content. So like this, we are redefining ourselves. Now, why we are doing is, the more we redefine ourselves, we are sending a very strong message to our subconscious that we are actually filled up with all these positive things in our life. And more we can train our subconscious, more, see, our subconscious will guide our consciousness, our conscious mind, and our conscious mind is responsible for what we think, how we behave, right? How we act and react. So when we are training our conscious mind, we are actually train subconscious mind. We are giving a very strong message, and more regularly you do it now, more you can train your or send this message of happiness or all the positive emotions to the conscious mind, subconscious mind. Now, the thing is, ki when someone is angry, now they will erupt like the volcano. At that time, we cannot help them, right? We cannot help ourselves at that time. What we need to do is we need to work on ourselves before. This has to be a regular exercise, like once in a week you can do this, so that you always send a positive message to your subconscious, train your subconscious. And when you train your subconscious, and when something of these things happen which can trigger your anger, you will see कि immediately this shift will happen, right? So this is another very powerful exercise which can control the underlying emotions which actually trigger the secondary emotion of anger. So this is our activity number 2. Any questions? Do we have any questions in running?
We don't have any questions yet.
Okay.
I think it's an interesting one. I can see, so from the first part to the second, it looks so colorful as well, isn't it?
Yeah, see, it's colorful, and if you see, we have used all the same colors, but
Hmm.
only the definition of the color over here, where all the negative or all the destructive emotions which we had, whereas we have shifted to a more uh, constructive emotions from here.
Yeah, yeah.
So the emotions which could have triggered anger now have shifted to something which will give us more joy, more happiness, and more contentment.
So this is a thing that we do normally when we are feeling the anger, or we can do that anytime?
No, see, when someone is feeling the anger, they are not exactly in a state of mind to do this kind of or any kind of activity,
Hmm.
right? So basically, we have to train ourselves always, all the time, so that when that trigger happens, when that anger situation comes, that time our mind will already control itself or already will be in the position to cope up with that situation. That eruption, that outburst will not happen.
This is fantastic. Yeah. So this is like a regular practice that anyone can
This is
do.
a regular practice anyone can do, and when they do it now, that actually helps them not only with anger, even you will see with stress, fear, all these things they will also have. Because see, what we are doing, like I say, we are sending all these positive emotions to our subconscious. We are filled up with all the positive things.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So when our subconscious is getting this message, it will send it to our conscious mind, and our conscious mind. And it is a very slow process. So that's why we need to keep on reminding ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. That's fantastic. No, thank you. This is a really good one. And I think that this
Yes.
is something that anyone can use in any kind of situations as well, um like advising others, saying, to
Yeah.
practice and
And
bring the positive.
even you can do it with any age group,
Hmm.
children, because they love colors. So just we need to make them aware of this shift
Hmm.
from the negative to the positive.
This is really good. Thank you. No, this is really nice.
Yeah. Thank you. And we have a final activity. So which I name it as power rain. Rain as in like acronym. So recognize, accept, implement, and nurture. Now, see, anger is a very like what kind of emotion? If you call the temperature of anger, what will be the temperature? Hot, cold,
You're hot.
hot. Yes, generally it is hot. Like even if you see the anger memes and everything, they have that red colored face and all, burning and all kind of thing. So
But
that's
here
why.
is a question.
Yeah.
Here is a question from me, actually, just to kind
Mm-hmm.
of like, so yes, anger is hot, but anger can
Mm-hmm.
sometimes bury itself for a long time. Then it's a cold anger that can create a long-term pain, kind of a thing as well.
No, that's not a cold anger. See, anger is a hot emotion. Like if you talk about the uh, temperature. Now, if you are not letting that anger go, if you are just suppressing the anger inside, it will burn yourself inside only. It will cause someone a health issue.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, see, it is always a burning emotion only, a destructive burning emotion. Okay,
Hmm.
so there is nothing called a cold anger. Like anger has different definitions. Like there are sometimes anger which are passive anger, you can say. Like I'm not letting you know that I'm angry on you, but I'm avoiding you. I'm like inside my mind, I'm telling a lot of things. I'm self-talking. So it's a passive anger, or I'm suppressing the anger. So
Yeah.
that can happen, but it's never a cold. See, it will burn you inside only. Either it is coming out as a hot, like a outburst and creating the destruction outside, or it is creating the destruction inside.
Hmm.
if it is not managed properly,
Yeah.
right? So now this is the third activity, power rain. So here we are going to recognize the different coping strategies we have, right? So number one is recognize. So can you tell me, Rani, like a few or those the organs? So what you do? Suppose you are angry, you are mad at someone. That person is coming towards you, and that person is also doing something which is irritating you. So what will you do? What will be your coping mechanism so that the anger outburst doesn't happen?
I normally shift the place,
Walk
um,
away.
walk away. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. So what we are going to do is we are going to write these coping mechanisms, and these are raindrops kind of I have made, and you can beautifully color this either with your pen, pencil, watercolors, whatever you have. So why I'm using blue? Generally, I'll suggest to use different shades of blue only because blue is a calming color itself. Any shades of blue can be used for this activity. So number one, we are going to recognize our coping strategy. We are going to accept it. Yes, this is something which I know how to do. I can do it, and I have this coping mechanism with me. I'm aware of it. Number three is implement it. So whenever you see you are in a situation, you see this kind of, you can get angry. The trigger is there. You recognized, you accept it, you now implement it, and then you nurture that quality of yourself. So that's the power in which we can use whenever we are angry. So there can be funny thoughts, like whenever someone is yelling at you or something, like uh, talking names or giving names to you, just think of some funny thoughts. That is another coping mechanism. So each of us have different coping mechanisms. Maybe mine and Indrani's and Tejasvi's, everyone's are different. But see, some of everyone of us have something or the other. Okay, then we can uh, chant a mantra. Like whenever I feel very angry and I know the situation can go out of my hand, I start chanting Om Namah Shivaya, because that actually calms me down and that shifts my attention. So you can chant, you can control your breath. So in this exercise, we are going to write down all the coping mechanisms which we already have or which we can develop. Again, this is an exercise which we can often do once or twice, or you can just make a chart of it and hang it in front of you or wherever you can see it regularly, so that it reminds you, yes, you are able to do all these things. And once these are the power you have, that's why I call it power in. These are the power you have already in you, in which you can very successfully handle your anger or manage your anger. So you can name your own coping mechanisms which you follow. So it can be anything. But what I want you to do is make these raindrops in a big chart of paper and color them as beautifully as you want. More time you invest in them, more it sinks inside you. Okay, and this you can display in front of you, which will keep you reminding of different ways you can avoid the situation, or you can handle the situation, you can manage the situation. So these are the activities I had planned for managing anger. I hope this will help you. Just let me know if you practice this. Let me know whether it helped you at all or not. Indrani.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. So yeah, this is the activity. So they can, they can plan their own or name their own coping mechanisms, and they can draw this anger power rain drops and place them in front of them, so that they can be reminded of the different ways to cope up with anger.
And this is again something that can be done again to consistently remind ourselves and
Yeah,
actually be
so
on the
what we
ball.
can do is you can write down, you can make these drops and write them nicely, you can do them, and as a chart you can display it in your room where you can every day see it, which will keep, may not be, you may not do it regularly, but if you just display it in front of you, it will keep on reminding you ki, okay, I can do, these are the things which I can do when this situation appears in front of me.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think all of these three are like really interesting because, of course, a combination of these three can be quite powerful in situations where people are possibly facing, emotions strongly sometimes. So this can be three of them can be really quite therapeutic.
Yeah. So this, if they are done the way I have said, ki first we need to recognize our anger. So every time we get angry, after we have calmed down, we can do the volcano activity where we can recognize ki, okay, these are the reasons I got angry. Now you can jot down those reasons in the redraw activity. So where in my body I am finding, or I am experiencing that emotion which triggered my anger. May not be all seven, because I used seven as seven colors and all these things. At least four or five, so you will find, like either it is guilt, fear, pain, disappointment. Maybe these are the reasons for my very latest anger. So once
Yeah.
I find it, I try to figure it out in my body where I am experiencing this. Now, once I figure it out, then I can replace it with the positive emotions which are there, which I want. It can be power, it can be concentration, it can be whatever thing you want. You can replace the negative ones with the positive ones and redraw yourself. Now,
Mm.
once we redraw ourselves, and this power in activity, whenever you are, you can just make it in a big chart form, and these coping mechanisms can change. Like today, I may not, uh, may have this view. Maybe tomorrow, reading or listening to music is one of my coping mechanism. Right. So you can write it down and again redraw your chart and display it. So this will help you to, it will be a constant reminder ki, okay. I have all these powerful instruments with me to manage my anger.
This is wonderful. It's really good. And of course, I mean, in the audience, if you have got any further questions, you can ask. But also, you can get in touch with Shoma through Blue Palette, of course. But also, Blue Palette is on Facebook, and Blue Palette runs its own YouTube channel
Instagram,
and on Instagram as well. So if you search by, so have you got different names for it, or you just say search by Blue Palette and people can find you?
Blue Palette, they can find Blue Palette Art Studio.
Blue Palette Art Studio, and of course she does fantastic artwork, shorts, and everything focused around art, basically on the channel, which is really interesting. So if you are interested to get in touch, please do visit their YouTube channel. You can visit their Instagram or Facebook to get in touch and contact Soma if you need anything. But thank you very much, Soma, for having it. I mean, it has been a fantastic afternoon spent with you to do this again, and I think that
Thank you
there's
for
lots of
inviting me.
yeah, no, thank you. And I think in the future we might actually think about doing something around SAD syndrome. You know, it's like the SAD syndrome is quite prominent in the West, particularly because the sun stays so
In the
less.
when the sun is not there, right, right.
That's right, during
Mm-hmm.
winter, and particularly people from the particularly geriatric and
Mm-hmm.
even parents have been asking about it. So lots of people suffer
Sure,
from SAD.
sure, we can do. Mm-hmm.
So we can do something possibly with you, in the coming months. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll be very interested. More than happy.
Fantastic. Oh, that's really good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So if we don't have any questions coming up yet, so I
Mm-hmm.
suppose that people are kind of trying to work through it. But of
Grasp.
course,
Mm.
what I've said to you that I have seen that once we have done these kind of sessions, people do revisit that quite a lot.
Right,
So
right.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, so we'll close it today for now, but of course we will come to you in another episode, of course, to bring you something new with Soma as well, and yeah. So looking forward to seeing you all again, and thank you very much for joining us today in this episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.